Hey guys, Denver James here, and in this video, I'm going to be reviewing the Doomlings card game. I'm going to be breaking down how it works, what's great about it, what's not so great about it, and my overall thoughts on the game. Let's talk about how the game works. The object of the game is to score more points than anyone else at the table before the end of the world. To start, separate one Birth of Life card and 15 Catastrophe cards from the other 28 Age cards. After this, shuffle the Age cards and deal 3 piles with 3 Age cards each. Put the rest of the Age cards off to the side. Next, shuffle the Catastrophe cards and deal 1 random Catastrophe into each of the 3 piles. Shuffle each of these piles separately from one another. Each pile should have 4 cards total. Take the 3 piles and stack them on top of each other with the Birth of Life card right on top. Take the pile of Age cards and place them in the center of the table. At this point, each player will select a Gene Pool card. Take this Gene card and place it in front of you with the number 5 facing upward. This Gene Pool card is unique to you and helps you keep track of how many cards you should hold to end your turn. Be sure to rotate or flip this card as that number increases or decreases. Lastly, give the trait cards a good shuffle and deal 5 cards to each player. Put the rest of the trait cards in the center of the table next to the Age pile. Now you're ready to start the game. The first player will be to the left of the dealer. That player will flip over the Birth of Life card from the Age pile. Every game of Doomlings will start with flipping over this special card, as it ensures that no game begins with a Catastrophe card. Everyone must follow the effect listed on the Age card. This is also the case with any future Age cards. You will then play one trait card from your hand by placing it face up in front of you. This will officially become your trait pile, and it will now be how you earn points throughout the game. The number of points the card is worth will be visible on the bottom left-hand side of the card, with some cards even being worth negative points. Be sure to keep an eye out for effects at the bottom of your trait cards, as these will provide special bonuses or instructions. Effects only work once the card has been played from your hand and into your trait pile. If a card has the special action symbol on it, this means that this is a one-time effect that becomes active the second you play it. There's a special set of trait cards in the game known as dominant traits. These cards have a gold star in the top right corner and cannot be swapped, stolen, returned, or discarded at any point in the game. They become a permanent part of your trait pile. However, you can only play 2 of these special cards throughout the game, so be sure to make them count. The next step in your turn is to stabilize the cards in your hand. To do this, check the number at the top of your Gene Pool card. If you have more cards in your hand than that number, discard down to that number. If you have less cards in your hand than that number, draw up to that number. Some card effects will change your Gene Pool number. If this happens, simply rotate your Gene Pool card to reflect the correct number. If for whatever reason the card with that effect is taken away, return your Gene Pool card back to its original number. Once you've stabilized your hand, your turn is over. Play will then continue clockwise around the table. When everyone at the table has taken a turn, the first player will flip over a new Age card and the next round begins. When a Catastrophe card is played, it will come with not only an effect, but also a change to your Gene Pool number. All players must change their Gene Pool numbers accordingly. This Catastrophe card marks the end of the current era. Once the next Age card is played, it will start a second era. The game ends once a third Catastrophe card has been played on the third and final era pile. No other turns will commence after this point. However, you'll want to follow the Gene Pool number change and effect for that Catastrophe card. And now we'll talk about how to add up everyone's points to determine a winner. To start, if the Catastrophe's World's End effect impacts your points in any way, add or subtract accordingly. Next, add up all of the points from your trait cards, which are visible in the bottom left corner. Lastly, add up any and all bonus points or point modifiers that you may have in your trait pile. To identify these cards, simply look for the drop of life symbol, which is located in the bottom right corner. A notepad might also help you keep track of all these various points. In the instance that there's a tie between players, have each player draw a trait card from the top of the deck. The player with the highest point value card wins the game. Let's talk about what's great about this game. Every once in a great while, a card game comes along that breaks away from the norm and introduces something new and exciting to the genre. Without question, Doomlings is exactly that kind of game. I found myself totally roped in by the concept of the game. I loved the idea of the Gene Pool card and how it constantly changed the way my hand looked. As each Age and Catastrophe passed, I felt the pressure to stock up my trait pile to prepare for the inevitable end. With gameplay mechanics that are this fun and intense, it's no wonder that Doomlings stands out from the competition. Another thing that I loved about this game is how briskly it plays. While the gameplay no doubt incorporates strategy and depth, it doesn't flaunt those traits at the expense of your time or energy. The game moved along at a breakneck pace, even as I was completely engrossed by the experience of playing it. While most games struggle to attain that kind of gameplay balance, Doomlings makes it look like second nature. And lastly, what I loved about this game is just how awesome it looks. Doomlings embraces the changing ages with bright colors and striking illustrations, making for an apocalyptic card game that's as fun to look at as it is exciting to play. Let's talk about what's not so great about this game. While I found the gameplay to be straightforward enough, my initial foray into the rulebook proved to be quite a challenge. The simple fact is that there's a lot going on here, with various card types, effects, symbols, and gameplay mechanics. It took me quite a bit of time to get it all down, but once I mastered the rules, it was is smooth sailing from there. That said, I'd encourage anyone that's interested in picking up this game to set aside a little extra time to figure out the rulebook. All in all, Doomlings is a pitch-perfect card game and earns its status as an instant classic. The gameplay is truly one of a kind, and the overall artwork and design is worthy of the end of the world. When it comes to having fun fighting for your life, there's no other game that does it better than Doomlings. If you're questioning whether or not to partake in this apocalyptic adventure, my advice would be to brave the storm. Thanks so much for taking the time to watch this video. Take care, and I'll see you around.